Hey guys, welcome January 21st. We are continuing to talk about personality tests and how they can be used effectively. So, today we're going to be talking about the Myers-Briggs test. And the purpose of the Myers-Briggs test, or the MBTI, is um, to make an inventory. It makes the theory of psychological types understandable and useful in people's lives. So, psychological types are having to do with, like we talked about, with personality. What are you? What are you when it comes to different things? So, the essence of the theory is that seemingly random variations in the behavior is actually quite orderly and consistent, being due being due to basic differences in the ways individuals prefer to use their perception and judgment. So there are 8 basic types of the personality type. There's extrovert, judger, perceiver, sensor, introvert, feeler, thinker, and intuitive. And with that, there are 16 combinations. So take a look at this video and it tells you exactly what you need to know. I'm going to actually show you just a little bit so you can understand what extrovert, judger, perceiver, sensor, introvert, feeler, thinker, and intuitive is.
Well, maybe you're hanging out with your friends and suddenly people start talking about the 16 personalities, Myers-Briggs, MBTI. They start saying weird stuff. So maybe you're hanging out with your friends and are 10-year-old. The 4 letters that make up a personality type are just preferences. That's all. No big deal. It's how you observe the world and how you make decisions. Each Myers-Briggs personality type has 4 letters in it. Each of those letters has 2 options. That's 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. That's 16. Boom. Honors pre-calculus in 11th grade, yo. The first letter is I or E. That stands for introvert or extrovert. Easy enough, right? Well, don't get too comfortable because that's the easiest one. The next letter is S or N, which stands for sensing or intuition. I know, intuition starts with an I, but the symbol is N. It's confusing, but just roll with it. Sensing and intuition are the ways that we make observations of the world around us. Sensing is pretty easy. How do we observe the world with our 5 senses? What are the facts? What are the numbers? Intuition is about what are the patterns at work here? What are the higher level concepts? Everybody uses both sensing and intuition. You couldn't make yourself a ham sandwich for lunch without both. Could you? Maybe. But you do have a preference at least 51% of the time of one over the other. The third letter in the type is F or T, which stands for feeling and thinking, which are the 2 ways that we make decisions. Feeling is not so much emotion, but value. What value do I give something? Is it good or bad? Do I like it or not like it? Making a decision based on feeling is like, I'm going to do this because I like it or because other people like it. Thinking, on the other hand, is logical, rational. Does it make sense? Does it work? Is it true? Making a decision with thinking is, I'm going to do this because it just makes sense. It just works. We all do both every day, and the personality type isn't meant to put you in a box. It's just meant to say, a majority of the time, what do you prefer? The 4th letter is J or P. Do you prefer John or Paul as your favorite Beatle? Ha ha ha, just kidding. No, J versus P is really judging versus perceiving. And to be honest with you, this letter is like the least precise in its meaning, but let me try to give you a little bit of what it's going for. So the P and J stand for perceiving and judging. Perceiving meaning observations, judging meaning decisions. So when you have a P type, generally when they're making decisions, they're looking at themselves first and foremost. What do I think is the right decision here? I'm going to go with that. P types also, when they're making observations, want to gather as many as possible. They don't want to limit it, and they don't really want to organize it either. The J types, on the other hand, when they're making decisions, they want to look around and get a good cross-section of what everyone else thinks is the right decision to make here, and then they'll make it based off of that. When making observations, the J types don't want to take in a crap ton of observations like the P types. They want to limit it and just chew on a few choice observations for a while, organize them over and over. And this is why the J types generally to the outside world can look a bit more organized, and the P types can look like crazy, disorganized. Their life is a mess, but they're having fun. If this video helped you out, I'd love it if you gave it.
So that talks about the 8 basic parts, and then of course there are combinations. So again, we have the 8 basic parts here. and a little bit about them. So extroverts are organized, they're energized by people. You have sensors, thinkers, judgers, introverts, intuitives, feelers, and perceivers. And then you have what we call the 16 combinations. I actually myself are INFJ. So as an INFJ, INFJ here. I'm a counselor, so I work to inspire others, and that's just what I am personally. So in your work time, you're going to take the Myers-Briggs personality test and post your results. If you want to have a little fun thing after you take your test to kind of see what you are, you can go ahead and watch this. And your daily discussion question is, what is the difference between an introvert and an extrovert? So if you go ahead and click on here, it will take you to the personality test. And then, of course, you can go into Schoology, to your lesson for the day. Go down to, like I said, our lesson. I'm grading. I'm making this during class, so that's why you guys hear the bells. But the MBTI quiz is here, the video that's on there, and then you're going to do the reflection questions that are right here. It'll make a copy. I think there is about 10 questions, roughly, and they're going to tell you what your type, ask you what your type is, and then to fill in accordingly. Okay? So, yeah, I hope that helps, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.